guys, DJ Iceberg 365 here with a studio tour. I'm in the process of completely redesigning my current studio space, so I wanted to take you on a journey the last 5 years of the Devout Jamcast, tell you about where we've been, and show you where we're going. I started the Devout Jamcast as an audio-only podcast on January 18th of 2016, and I added video versions to YouTube and Facebook in December of 2018. I'm originally from a small town in southwest Minnesota. The first studio space I had was in my bedroom in my dad's house. I was almost 20, still living at home when I started doing the show. I remember when I would mention to people that I hosted a podcast, often the first question I would get asked was, "Oh, where do you do that out of?" Again, I'm almost 20 living at home. Where do you think I do it out of? So my response to that was always under my bed. Confused the heck out of people, and it was always so funny to see their reactions. But it actually gave me an idea. So I went to my parents one day and said, "Hey, what if I buy a loft bed that's just open underneath and I actually record the show under my bed?" And their response was, yeah, get your own place. So I did. May of 2017, I moved to my current city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Got my own apartment, and the first thing I bought was a loft bed. So that was the first setup you saw in the very early video versions of the show. I remember making the decision to actually add video versions of the podcast. I'd gone back and forth, pros and cons. Couldn't record in my PJs anymore. I didn't know how to edit anything. I didn't figure anyone would watch, but I knew it was what God was calling me to. Around the time I moved, I was also going through some really difficult life and family changes. And being perfectly honest, sometimes not only was it difficult to want to record a video, but it was difficult to record it all sometimes. But God was so faithful, and He always sustained me, kept me going, and I love how the platform has grown, the audience has grown, and continues to grow. That apartment, I had looked for quite some time, over 5 months, to find a job here in Sioux Falls so I could move. I'd checked out apartments. I knew the complex I wanted to be in. They had 2 different sizes of one-bedroom apartments, and the larger square footage one was out of my price range, and not everyone in my family approved of me moving either, so I was on my own for the most part as far as the actual move. After I got a call and accepted a job offer, I drove to the apartment and asked to sign an application for their smallest one-bedrooms on a ground floor, because moving upstairs wasn't very practical. I knew exactly what I wanted, and the lady in the leasing office told me that they had no more one-bedrooms available in the entire complex. So I turned around to leave thinking, God, what am I going to do now? Jesus, take the wheel. Not that wheel, Jesus. I have my hand on the doorknob of the leasing office about to leave, and the lady stopped me and said, "Oh no, wait a minute. We were out this afternoon, but I forgot about 2 hours ago someone that the last one bedroom was being held for called and said they no longer wanted the apartment, so it was available for me." It was the smallest square footage, and it was on a ground floor. About 2 hours earlier that day, the exact moment the person called to withdraw their application was the exact moment I was on the phone accepting my job offer. So that is pretty cool. God works things out way better than I ever could. So yeah, I really loved that apartment. That's the space I was in for the 100th episode of the show. Loved it there. But fast forward to last year, April 2000 and pandemic 20, I bought a house. Buying a house during a pandemic is wild, especially when it's your first time. COVID rules didn't even allow for my realtor to go to my closing with me, so I had to go to the title company by myself. Not the norm. Yeah, it was pretty wild. So that is the space that I occupy right now, and since this space is all mine, after a year of living in my house, I am fully redesigning the space. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. It's going to be a couple more weeks for me, but you'll see the reveal in just a few seconds.
This is the captain speaking. Lay back, let's take a flight. Yeah.
You are now sky dreaming.
This is kinda funky, this is quite smooth. Never thought that I'd be doing this in high school. Never thought that this would be the way that I choose. I bet he chose me, that's the right view. This is more than just a moment, it's eternity. And I can keep your wheels turning if you turn to me. This is turning into something if you turn and see. That door would open up to heaven if you turn a key. He'll stop the blood like a tourniquet. Let me enter in that veil, it was torn a bit. I used to be a stillbirth, I was born in sin. Now I'm covered by his blood, yeah, I'm born again. The reason he told me it was time for me to get it in. Born to win, we are mortals, now we are more than men. God came through that portal as a mortal man. All God, all normal to perform his plan. Fly with me, glide with me. We are high in the sky, take a ride with me. We just try a vibe, it's the right move. Now until the sunrise, this is flight school. Fly with me, glide with me. We are high in the sky, take a ride with me. We just try a vibe, it's the right move. Now until the sunrise, this is flight school.
And here it is. I don't even recognize this room anymore. I DIY'd basically everything in here. Painted the ceilings black, blue and orange walls. If you follow me on social media, you also saw how I taped off this really cool paint arch in the corner, and I love how it turned out too. I replaced the featured artist letter sign with a chalkboard and vinyl record cardboard cutouts. It's hard to pick a favorite piece in here, but I got a legit neon sign custom made. It is beautiful. I feel like the camera doesn't even do it justice. It was very difficult to hang, but it's up there and I think it looks pretty cool. I also love this logo sign over here because if you don't know, not only do I host the Devout Jamcast, I'm also a music and podcasting news reporting anchor for RYC Praise News. And this right here is reversible. Let me show you. Oh snap! So whichever video I'm recording, I can have the logo behind me. This room was instantly and always one of my favorites in my house, but I love how the redesign has turned out. What do you guys think of the transformation? Let me know in the comments or shoot me a message. I'd love to hear what you think about the new space and even what you'd like to see. Thank you so much for continuing to support me in this. I couldn't do it without you. Actually, something super interesting that's also happening right now is I'm in the process of updating my website and switching my podcasting and web hosts because my dad built and maintains my website and we got a call from our current service provider saying that we are overloading our current servers with the traffic the Devout Jamcast has gotten. It has seriously blown my mind. I started the show just to be faithful to God's calling, not knowing where he would take it 5 years later, so thank you all for continuing to support and growing along with me. I'm DJ Iceberg 365, and I will see you soon.